Hey YouTube, welcome back. Thanks for checking out another episode. First of all, I want to go through it. I want to say congratulations to the Dallas Empire. They were 1000% the best team over the last couple weekends, which is why I predicted them to go ahead and win this weekend. But congratulations to Clay and Krim after all they've been through, the low spots of their career, for them to come back and end up winning their third ring. It's just really great to see. Shotzi, Illy, Hugh, the young guns also getting their ring. It's just, they were the best team. They deserve to win, so hats off to them. But I will say that I think the spawn system in Modern Warfare went through and it reared its ugly head. I think there was an opportunity for Atlanta to win the domination match, which they then came back and they won the hard point right after that. And if they get back-to-back wins there, I don't know if they would have ended up winning, but I definitely think it would have brought them back in this series and it might have been a little bit closer. So I am going to go through that spawn situation that I was just talking about with you guys, but I just want to say thank you guys for having my back, continually supporting the channel for 300 plus days. We've been grinding super hard. You guys have been here the entire time. So thank you for that. I have some new series starting this upcoming week. You guys know me. I don't miss a day. So I've got some new stuff in the works until we get up to next year's Call of Duty season. So make sure you hang around because I'm not going anywhere. But with that in mind, I do want to go ahead before we get into, again, I'm going to break down the spawns that happened in that domination game. We're going to go just frame by frame, really break it down, and I'm going to explain to you what the implications of that were. But here's the overall map count. Dallas ended up winning 5-1. They came out, won the Azir Cave hardpoint, and Shotzi was just the difference maker with the Grau in that back broken building. Once he gets set up on P5, it's really tough to get him off, and that's what was the biggest key to them winning map 1. Gunrunner Search and Destroy, this is Atlanta's best map and mode, so I was shocked that they got beat 6-3, but Dallas just looked like the more prepared team. Like when Illy was sniping over that B bomb site, when he was looking all the way on back Jeep, so his line of sight was through P5, through both doors. We haven't seen that the entire year, and that's just preparation, right? But the domination was a 6-point game, and I think this is where the series could have turned, because on the Gunrunner hardpoint, Atlanta did get that victory before finally falling in the Ramaza Search and Destroy. I will say, if we look at the overall KDs, it's not like Dallas really slayed a lot more than Atlanta did. They were just more prepared. They picked their shots. They won their Search and Destroy rounds. But overall, Shotzi played like the MVP that he is. He had a 1.2. Simp, his counterpart, you'd probably say that those are two of the best SMGs in the game. Simp also had a 1.2. And as you go up and down, Celium was the worst in the match overall, but it is what it is. Everybody was really close, and one team was just better prepared than the other. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and I want to lay out the situation for you guys. So as we look at this at the minimap, so first of all, top middle of the screen, Atlanta is up by about 14 points. But if we're looking here, they've only got A control. And we know that when it comes to domination on St. Petrograd, the more dominant side is to hold CB. So if you're Atlanta, you still have 3 minutes to work with, but the earlier you can flip the map, the better, right? As we go ahead and press play here, there's a series of kills that are unbelievably clutch out of Atlanta. So first of all, bottom side of the map, we just saw Abizi got this kill on Crim6, right? And essentially what that does is that opens up the bottom side of the map. So by them getting this kill, it allows them to hit the back, and then it allows them to get on top of C. So obviously from here, you're going to see a rotation from Illy coming back, trying to protest or to counter the cap at C. So let's go ahead, let's press play, and you're going to see this just play out. Those two red arrows are going to go towards C. It's going to flip to Illy right here. He elects for the long play to go around back, and that's another kill there. So Abizi gets a second kill right there on Illy, and now that C flag is really opened up. There's only one other person that can make a difference. Right here at the top of the screen, you can see that Clayster is also going to work his way back to try to stop the cap at C. So as we go ahead and press play, this plays out over the next couple seconds or so, but right there, a BZ just got a third kill. He ends up killing Clay. So the map is basically flipped, right? If we're looking at how it's set up right now, on the right-hand side, Priesta is trying to challenge this gun battle on A. So Priesta's pushed up a little bit. He is going to drop pretty soon. And if we look towards the middle of the map, Shotzi is still alive. So even though the map has flipped, Dallas still has a little bit of control over mid-map. As we get into this, you can immediately see Simp goes ahead and he makes the play towards B, and he's just waiting for his teammates to come back, right? So Simp gets a kill on Crim. Major Maniac, we just saw him get the kill on Illy, and just like that, basically the map has flipped, right? As we go ahead and look through, Simp is neutralized in this. He's going to get the kill on Clay. It's going to get neutraled, and they're going to work towards capping. So while all of that was happening, we missed something with the spawns. And if we're looking at the minimap right now, it doesn't make sense as we're watching it. The reason why it doesn't make sense is because we just saw Atlanta come back here. They were able to capture the flag at C. Simp was mid-map, so he's been playing around mid-map. And before that, we had a BZ and Celium back here towards C. So again, if I'm looking at this, and I caught this live and it made no sense, but why are there 3 Atlanta FaZe players over here on the right-hand side of the map? It just doesn't make sense because they got the wipe over at C. They were able to flip the map and also work towards neutralizing B. Just doesn't make sense. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go back, and I'm going to show you the exact moment that this ends up happening. Again, going back just a few seconds here, but if you're watching the minimap, you can kind of already see what's happening here. But I think one more time and we'll be good. Right here. So Priesta ends up dying to Hugh, right? Again, if we're looking at this, remember we said Priesta was up. He was trying to counter the cap over at A. So he ends up dying there. And right now, if we're watching this, you can see that the only people that are up right now for the Atlanta FaZe, we have 2 players here, and we have Simp that's just kind of finessing a little bit mid-map. Essentially, he's just waiting for his teammates to hit these routes and to get back up towards B so that they can work towards flipping the map. But if we watch this, watch these spawns that come in. So again, 3 people at C, you have Simp up towards B, and in just a moment, you just saw Priesta come in right there. So as this happens, if you're Atlanta FaZe, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Because you were able to get a team wipe. You were able to capture C. We saw Simp makes that run at mid-map. He's able to get the neutral. He kills Clay. They're set up to flip the map. And if we're looking at the score in the top middle, it's 113 to 105, and Atlanta should have CB control. But these spawns on the right-hand side over here come through for Priesta. So at this point in time, if you're Priesta, what are you supposed to do, right? You get this spawn. It just doesn't make much sense. So he has to elect whether he hits tracks and he goes to help on B, or you can see up here at the top of the screen, a BZ's up here. So if you have pressure on the top side of the map, that's going to take Dallas, and that's going to spawn them over here inside of P1. So at this point in time, if you're Chicago, you probably want to come through and you want Priesta to try to neutral A. You can then finesse and you can get the cap on B, and that's going to take Dallas. It's going to spawn them towards P1. At least that's the ideal scenario, right? But as you see this play out, we'll go back. Priesta decides he has to hit A. Simp is getting all those kills, and he's getting the neutral inside of B. And again, so let's just pause this because this works exactly like we just laid out. Priesta's going through. He spawned here. He's hitting A. Abizi was here. He hit the top side of the map. Once you have pressure up here, that's going to take Dallas. It's going to spawn them back towards P1. So if you're Atlanta, this is perfect, right? Because you can go through, you have C, you can capture B, and you can neutral A. At least that's the play from there. But the game, it just, the fact that it put Priesta over there, as we go through and watch this, again, here's the kill from Simp on Clayster, and just like this, more people. So there's more. Now, this makes a little bit more sense because there is pressure up towards C. So as Celium and Abizi come up off of spawn, they also get this back bar spawn. But now it makes sense because we have Priesta over here, and there's a front from Dallas pushing mid-map and towards C. So now this spawn kind of makes sense, but before it didn't because there was no pressure on the right-hand side of the map from Atlanta. Everybody was either inside of C, one was pushed up towards B. So as we go ahead and watch this play out, you're going to see that essentially this map is going to flip again. If we're watching the mini map, you can see that Hugh and Clay, they end up doing the exact same thing, right? Look at the mini map. They spawn down over here towards P1 like we talked about. They're hitting C. You can see these routes coming back towards C. And within, I mean, this has only been like 20 seconds of game time, but within 20 seconds, the map is going to flip again. And had this not happened, Atlanta probably ends up winning this map. It was a really crucial point. If they keep CB, then they probably are able to hold those and they end up winning. But we can see that Dallas immediately capped B. They have pressure on B. They're able to get the kills over towards C. And if we look at the top center, we can see that C is being capped. It was just neutraled. C is being capped. You just saw right there, Illy and I think that's Krim. Yeah, Illy and Krim were able to capture C. Now the map's flipped, and this is the comeback. This is how Dallas was able to make this comeback and ultimately come through and win this map. So I don't know. It's just a little bit unfortunate, right? We've been talking about this basically throughout the entirety of Modern Warfare, how people will get a spawn and it just makes no sense because you don't have pressure on that side of the map. And I really do think that it cost Atlanta this map overall, because even though you might say, well, there's a minute 30 seconds left when this comes through and they have a 13-point lead, but the game made them give up that dominant spawn and now they're trying to work their way back towards B, and it's just hard to do from the A side of the map. So it's unfortunate. Overall, I don't know if it really makes much of a difference. I do think that it probably helps their momentum a little bit towards the middle there on those map and modes, but it's a good year overall. I'm not taking anything away from Dallas. They were by far the best team this weekend, like I said earlier. But if you guys are new around here, I hope you enjoyed this content. Again, we have some new series coming up this week, so make sure you're subscribed and you're here for those. Any comments, put them down below. Make sure you leave a like. Thank you guys so much again. We will see you in tomorrow's upload, just like always.